Spring is finally coming, and I'm gearing up for my first race of the year. I've actually got all of my races for 2026 lined up already. Hi, I'm Camille. I'm an analytics girlie in my sporty girl era. A year ago, I took my running to the next level. I started racing. I ran 2 half marathons, my first true 10K, a few short distance races, and my very first marathon. And now we're here! We are at year 2 of my running journey, which means that it is my second year of taking running a little too seriously. Coming from zero or very minimal athletic background, I am invested in my sporty girl era. And I want to get better. So I came up with goals. 1 is to run a sub 2-hour half marathon. And 2 is to start in wave 3 for this year's New York City Marathon. So let's talk about them. So goal number 1, run a sub 2-hour half marathon. Last year, I ran 2 half marathons. The first one in March, where I ran 2:20, and the second one in May, where I ran 2:12. And that's my current half marathon PR. I guess when you're new to running, everything is a PR. Since then, I've raced a variety of distances, including the marathon. And I feel like I can get a significantly better half marathon time this year. So, I've lined up 4 half marathons for the year. First one in March, so that's coming soon. I'm already deep in training. The second one in April, a third one in May, and ideally, this is where I'm going to hit my sub 2 goal. But I also have a September half lined up. It's going to be my marathon tune-up. Also, just in case I need another chance to hit my sub 2 goal, that's when I'm gonna hit it. Compared to last year, I am planning to get more structured training. So I think this goal of running sub 2 is very achievable, and it's just a matter of timing. When will it happen? My second goal is to start in wave 3 for this year's New York City Marathon. This is a bit of a challenge for me, and it's going to need more context. The New York City Marathon is one of the biggest marathons, and there are 5 wave starts, 6 corrals each, and 3 different color assignments. The corrals and the color assignments, they go by pretty quickly once the wave starts. So it's really the wave start that matters. Last year, I started in the last wave, wave 5, which was good for me in terms of not burning out too quickly for my very first marathon. Great. But not so good in terms of start time. The start time for that wave was 11:30 a.m., which meant that I was at the start village for hours before I even got to start the race. If anyone says just go to the start line a little later, no. I got advice from a lot of experienced New York City marathoners specific to this race, and I have no regrets with my decision to join them early at the start village. No regrets. I will do it again if I am given the opportunity to. Another thing it meant was that I finished the race close to sundown. This year, I want to give myself 1 hour back by starting in wave 3, which starts at 10:20 a.m. unless they change the schedule this year. To have made it into last year's wave 3, I needed a best pace equivalent of a 3-hour 55-minute marathon. That's roughly an 8:19 per mile best pace. Let's talk about that a bit more. The best pace is a standardized 10K pace based on Regal's formula. I am not going through the math here. Feel free to look it up. But New York Roadrunners uses this calculation to assign your corrals at their races at any New York Roadrunners race, including the New York City Marathon. I did a bit of math. For a half marathon, that's 154.50. A 10K, that's 51.41. If I do a 4-miler, that's 32.18. And for 5K, that's 24.44. Even with my lack of athleticism, I think it's achievable. But only if we are anchoring on that sub 4 best pace. But wait, there's more. There's more. New York Roadrunners has a deadline for locking in your best pace for the wave assignments for the New York City Marathon. As they should, because this is a whole logistical problem for them. This is a whole logistical issue for them. This official deadline moves year after year, and you won't really know what the deadline is until closer to the deadline. Last year, it was mid-September, so this year, I'm going to assume it's somewhere within like the first or second weeks of September. And that means that I only have until early September to achieve my speed goals. The other thing is that the final wave and corral assignments aren't released until maybe a week before the race. So I won't know if I achieved my goal until then. The icing on the cake is that the wave and corral assignments are also based on the profile of all the registered runners each year. Even if I achieve the 355 best pace equivalent by September, if the rest of the registered runners for the New York City Marathon are way faster than that, either they achieved a really fast best pace with New York Roadrunners, or if they entered a marathon or half marathon time that's also fast, it means that they have to allocate space for all the faster runners and move all of the normies and slower runners backwards, because that's just how things are. There's 3 things going on here. So the first one is the best pace. The second one is the deadline of around mid-September. And the third one is that it's a moving target. I might not even make it into wave 3. I'm just going to have to run the fastest ever races ever this year. Well, fastest ever for me. I've got several New York Roadrunner races of varying distances before September, which means I will have multiple attempts at hitting a better best pace. Join me as I pursue my goals and take my sporty girl era, whatever this is, to new heights. Bye!